We've got a stack of sources here, game reports, insider notes, team statements, and our mission today is to unpack what these sudden crushing setbacks truly mean.
Right.
Not just for the players and the coaching staff, but, for the entire trajectory of their season.
The whole outlook changes.
We want to give you the clearest picture of the challenges ahead, help you understand the cascading effects of such sudden, significant changes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. The Vikings have taken 2 crushing hits. Foundational players for Kevin O'Connell's offense, gone.
It's indeed a precarious situation in the sources. They don't sugarcoat it at all. When you talk about the indispensable core of an offense, well, you're immediately looking at the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
The main decision maker.
Yep. QB1.
And then a proven, reliable running back, someone who brings stability, versatility.
A stabilizer.
Exactly. To lose both of those linchpins in such rapid succession, it truly puts a team in a reactive mode, not proactive anymore.
Playing from behind already.
Totally. The reports are clear. These aren't minor week-to-week annoyances. These are significant absences, likely long-term absences.
Yeah.
It's going to compel the coaching staff to completely reevaluate their offensive strategy, their personnel, frankly, the very identity of their team for, the foreseeable future.
Absolutely. And the weight of this started with their rookie signal caller, J.J. McCarthy.
The big one.
He sustained a high ankle sprain late in that tough loss against the Falcons. If you caught any of that game, you could actually see him limp after a scramble.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Showed real grit.
He definitely toughed it out.
Got taped up, and honestly, he just gutted it out to finish the game.
Yeah.
That's the kind of toughness you genuinely want to see from your young quarterback.
It's a sign, right? Leadership, determination.
Sure. Shows character.
However, the next day, the cold light of morning after the adrenaline wore off,
reality hits.
the pain was simply too much. That's when the full, stark extent of the injury became brutally clear.
And digging into the specifics of this high ankle sprain, it's particularly insidious for a player like McCarthy.
Insidious, yeah. Why is that?
Medically, it's often called a syndesmotic sprain. And it's notoriously tricky for any athlete, but especially for a mobile quarterback.
Right.
See, unlike a more common lateral ankle sprain, just a simple twist, usually this injury affects the really robust ligaments that bind your 2 lower leg bones, the tibia and fibula, together, right above the ankle joint.
Okay. So structural stability.
Yeah.
Exactly. These ligaments act like a strong, flexible hinge holding everything in place. When they're compromised, it's not just localized pain, it's a profound loss of foundational stability and the ability to generate rotational force. Gone in a crucial joint.
Wow. Okay.
Imagine trying to generate significant throwing power when the very base of your push-off leg feels unstable.
Can't do it.
Or trying to escape a collapsing pocket with an ankle that refuses to pivot quickly and pain-free.
Nightmare fuel for QB.
It makes any push-off, pivot, or sudden change of direction excruciating and ineffective. For a quarterback like McCarthy, whose whole draft profile was defined by his athleticism, his ability to extend plays with his legs.
That's his game.
This isn't just about missing games, it's a fundamental disruption to his unique skill set. The typical recovery timeline, it can range from 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes even longer for an athlete to regain full strength, confidence, and the intricate biomechanical precision required at the NFL level.
So he's got to basically relearn movements.
He's forced to, yeah. Or potentially alter his game entirely, which, for a rookie, that's a developmental catastrophe.
That's a powerful way to put it, a developmental catastrophe. Because this was supposed to be McCarthy's developmental stretch, right? As the rookie starter.
Exactly. These were the learning games.
You envision those early games as crucial learning experiences. Building chemistry with receivers, getting comfortable with NFL speed, just gaining confidence under fire.
Every snap counts.
Every snap, every read, every scramble, they're all invaluable building blocks. This injury effectively pauses that crucial momentum.
Puts it on ice.
Denies him those invaluable in-game reps, those real-time adjustments, the chance to gel with the O-line against real NFL defenses.
Right.
All of it now on hold.
Huge setback.
It's a huge setback for a player who desperately needs those early career snaps to grow and find his footing. Our sources highlighted Kevin O'Connell's direct statement to reporters, which was pretty blunt.
Yeah, what did he say?
He basically said, don't expect him for week 3 against the Bengals.
Wow. Okay. Straight up.
That single sentence tells you everything you need to know about the severity and immediate impact.
And that bluntness, that direct message from O'Connell, it completely shifts the team's immediate focus.
Has to.
The swift move to bring in veteran Desmond Ridder to the 53-man roster, that isn't just about adding a warm body.
No, it's a signal.
It's a glaring admission of how bad McCarthy's injury is. It signals a shift from, let's hope for the best, to, we need viable options now.
Emergency button.
It's essentially an emergency button press that no team wants to hit for their franchise quarterback this early in the season. Carson Wentz is still expected to start.
Right, the vet.
With an undrafted rookie named Max now sliding into the backup role. And Ridder adds that necessary immediate insurance.
Okay, so Wentz, Max, Ridder, that's the room now.
This move shows a clear acknowledgement from the staff that McCarthy's absence isn't going to be a quick turnaround. They need experience depth, especially when you consider the vulnerability of relying on maybe a less mobile, less experienced backup.
Yeah, you need cover.
It completely changes the dynamic in the quarterback room, moving from like a developmental focus to a survival mode approach almost overnight.
Right, and the team didn't wait around, which, says a lot about their urgency. They saw the writing on the wall.
Oh, doubt.
But let's be clear, losing your young franchise quarterback, even short term, it fundamentally shifts the entire outlook for September. It effectively derails that promised reset for the season.
Totally derails it.
And then, less than 24 hours later, boom, the second gut punch, Aaron Jones.
Just brutal timing.
This wasn't just a he'll miss a week thing. Our sources, NFL insiders, confirmed he's going on injured reserve.
IR. That's the key.
That's a minimum of 4 games, gone at least 4 games, folks.
And understanding the significance here is crucial. What does injured reserve designation truly mean? How's it different from just being week to week?
Explain that.
For Aaron Jones, being placed on IR means he's out for a mandatory minimum of 4 games. Period.
No wiggle room.
No. This isn't an optimistic, maybe he plays next week scenario. It's a guaranteed extended absence. No possibility of him returning sooner.
And hamstrings.
And this is particularly concerning with hamstring injuries for running backs. Hamstrings are notoriously difficult to fully heal. They have a high tendency for re-injury.
Especially for backs, right? Explosive movements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For players whose game relies on explosive bursts of speed, quick cuts, sudden acceleration, they need to be absolutely 100%.
Can't risk it.
Pushing him back too soon could lead to a season-long nagging issue, or, even worse, another, more severe setback. Could end his season entirely.
Wow.
The dynamic nature of a running back's role means those hamstrings are under constant stress, makes it a particularly challenging injury to manage.
And that's critical because Jones was specifically brought in to stabilize the backfield. That was his role.
The veteran presence.
He was meant to be that guy. Reliable runner, true home run threat, key pass catching option. He was the proven commodity.
The known quantity.
Losing him for this period means the offense loses its veteran stabilizer in the run game. And with that, a significant part of its identity.
Huge loss.
He's now definitively gone for the Bengals in week 3, Steelers week 4, Browns week 5, and then the Eagles in week 7 after their bye week.
That's a tough stretch of games, too.
Brutal. If his rehab goes absolutely perfectly, the very best case scenario for his return isn't until week 8 against the Chargers.
Week 8? That's a long time.
That's a significant, brutal chunk of the early season without a player who was supposed to be a cornerstone.
The team's countermove here gives crucial insight into their strategy and, well, their level of concern.
What'd they do?
They swiftly brought back Cam Akers for the 3rd straight season.
Akers is back. Okay. Familiar face.
This isn't about Akers stepping in to be a superstar, though. It's about adding immediate experience depth,
Right.
providing crucial breathers for Jordan Mason.
Right. Mason's the next man up.
And injecting some much-needed experience, especially catching passes out of the backfield, pass protection. That becomes vital with a pocket passer like Wentz.
Good point.
What's particularly revealing is that Jones had already been splitting carries with Jordan Mason. And in fact, Mason had slightly outsnapped him through the first 2 weeks.
Oh, interesting. So Mason was already involved.
Yeah, he was already being integrated, earning his reps. But now he's suddenly the clear RB1 without that veteran safety net, without the ability to ease into the role.
Thrown into the fire.
It's a huge step up for a player who, while showing flashes of power and explosiveness, is largely untested as a full-time lead back in the NFL. He's going to be asked to carry a workload he hasn't experienced at this level and do it against some tough defenses.
What really stings, though, is how quickly the situation snowballed. From concerning to, code red critical.
Yeah, 24 hours. Unreal.
In just 24 hours, the Vikings lost the starting quarterback and their most proven running back.
Yeah.
That's the spine of any offense.
Absolutely core pieces.
But the injury woes, they don't end there, do they?
Unfortunately not.
Our sources paint a truly dire picture of an offensive line that is already patched up, even before these latest hits.
It was already shaky.
Left tackle Christian Darrisaw, a pivotal piece, still hasn't played as he rehabs his knee. That's a massive, gaping hole on the blind side.
Can't overstate how big that loss is.
And then, adding insult to injury, backup Justin Skull and starting center Ryan Kelly, both in concussion protocol.
Wow. Center and backup tackle.
It's an absolute disaster up front.
Indeed, and this level of simultaneous attrition along the offensive line, it creates monumental challenges.
Explain that. What happens?
Okay, so what happens when your foundational O-line is missing multiple key players, including your starting left tackle and center?
Yep.
Offensive line play relies heavily on intricate communication, seamless continuity, and almost intuitive understanding between players.
Like a dance.
Exactly. When you're constantly shuffling personnel due to injury, moving guys to unfamiliar spots, bringing in backups who haven't had significant reps together, those crucial elements just break down almost immediately.
Chemistry's gone.
This directly compromises the quarterback's time in the pocket, and it absolutely decimates the ability to run the ball effectively. Gaps, assignments become inconsistent, protection calls get missed.
It's a domino effect.
It's a cascading problem that undermines the entire offensive strategy and the confidence of the playmakers behind them. You can't execute an offense if you can't protect the QB or open running lanes. Period.
And it's not just the offensive line. Wide receiver Jordan Addison is suspended one more game.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Another weapon down.
So you're losing a dynamic rookie weapon as well. When you add all these pieces up, our sources highlight a truly staggering statistic.
What is it?
At one point last Sunday night, the Vikings were without 7 projected starters. 7.
7 starters out. That's insane.
That's not just a few missing pieces. It's a complete systemic overhaul of your expected lineup.
Putting players who were never meant to start into critical roles.
Just plugging holes everywhere.
It truly does feel like chaos. And it's a stark illustration of how quickly the best laid plans can just crumble. The individual absences, when combined, create an overwhelming sense of instability across the entire offense, forcing immediate, drastic adjustments.
This creates an almost unmanageable situation for any coaching staff, especially Kevin O'Connell, who's known for his intricate, nuanced offensive schemes.
Right, his system relies on execution.
When you're missing that many projected starters, particularly on offense, you're not just plugging in backups. You're often putting players out of position or relying on individuals who haven't had the necessary reps or experience in significant, high-pressure roles.
Trial by fire.
It's a fundamental disruption of continuity and synergy that takes weeks, if not months, of practice and game time to build. The chaos isn't just a feeling in the locker room, it's a tangible reality. It infiltrates practice planning, game prep, in-game adjustments. So they have to simplify everything.
Pretty much. Simplify concepts, reduce options, and rely on pure grit over refined execution.
It really feels like deja vu. And for all the wrong reasons, you know.
History repeating.
Last year, the Vikings were ravaged by injuries, particularly key skill positions, and here we are again. It feels like the same script is playing out.
You almost wonder if this roster can ever catch a break.
Right. And this isn't just about the physical toll or the strategic headaches for coaches. There's a serious psychological impact here. On the team, the staff, when you face this kind of crisis year after year.
That psychological aspect is profoundly significant, and it's often overlooked in the rush to analyze X's and O's.
Yeah, people focus on the depth chart.
When a team experiences repeated significant injury crises, especially in consecutive seasons, players can indeed start questioning the football gods, as the source puts it.
Why us kind of feeling.
Exactly. It's no longer just bad luck. It can erode confidence, resilience. Doubts creep in about conditioning, training methods, or just the inherent fragility of the team.
Creates a negative narrative.
It does, internally and externally. Players start wondering, are we doing something wrong? Or is this just our fate? This kind of pervasive doubt can be far more damaging than any single physical injury. It chips away at the team's belief system.
And the coaches.
For the coaching staff, it's an immense mental burden. They have to constantly keep spirits up, find ways to motivate a group that keeps getting knocked down, remind them of their capabilities, the mission.
Next man up, can only go so far.
Right. Leaders like Justin Jefferson and Harrison Smith become absolutely vital now, not just for their play, but for their ability to steady the group, maintain belief in the face of relentless adversity.
It's about leadership now.
This is not just about game plans. It's profoundly about morale, the collective mental fortitude of the whole organization.
Exactly. And let's not forget the performance context that these injuries are piling on top of.
Good point. They weren't exactly firing on all cylinders before this.
Fans had real hope after that comeback win over Chicago in Week 1. That provided a spark, right?
Yeah.
A glimpse of what McCarthy could be. Felt like a promising start, a new era.
Yeah, there was optimism.
But then came the reality check against Atlanta, a 22-6 loss that exposed all the cracks. Maybe hidden by the Week 1 win.
Brutal game.
The offensive struggles, defensive lapses, just general lack of rhythm. It was all laid bare. And now, these devastating injuries have piled on top of that, taking away key pieces they hoped would help them overcome those struggles.
Keep taking them while they're down.
So with Week 3 looming against Cincinnati, a Bengals team that just lost Joe Burrow, sure, but still has dangerous weapons on both sides.
Still a dangerous team.
What version of the Vikings are we even going to see? How will Kevin O'Connell possibly adjust the play calling in such a short amount of time?
That's the million-dollar question for O'Connell. And this leads us directly into the fundamental strategic shifts he must now implement. It's nothing short of a complete offensive overhaul.
An overhaul.
Think about it. With McCarthy, the playbook leaned toward mobility, roll out passes, and growth moments for a young signal caller.
Right, built around his skill set.
That's a system designed to maximize a young QB's athleticism, provide easier reads through movement, allow for some improvisation. Carson Wentz.
Different beast entirely.
On the other hand, brings experience but not the same athleticism. He's going to operate more from the pocket. This isn't a subtle tweak.
No.
It's a seismic shift in the philosophy and execution of the offense. You simply cannot run the same plays or ask for the same movements from these two quarterbacks.
It truly is a complete pivot, isn't it? You're talking about two fundamentally different quarterback styles. They demand entirely different offensive architectures.
Completely different.
With McCarthy, you might design plays where he could extend with his legs, scramble for a first if nothing's open, maybe even a designed run. He was a dynamic dual-threat weapon.
Adds that extra dimension.
Wentz, the veteran, he's more of a traditional classic pocket passer. He'll stand tall, go through his progressions, deliver the ball with velocity. But he's not going to bail you out with mobility like McCarthy might have.
Yeah, his game.
This means O'Connell has to tighten protection, quicken reads, and lean on his veterans, like Justin Jefferson, to create separation fast.
That's the new reality.
You're relying on precision, timing, route running much more heavily than on athletic improvisation.
Precisely. And the impact on play calling is immense. Operating more from the pocket means the entire offense becomes more static, more reliant on foundational elements holding up.
The line becomes even more critical.
The offensive line has to hold blocks longer. Far longer than they might have needed to for a scrambling McCarthy. Wentz needs to process info faster. His receivers must win their matchups quickly, give him viable, open targets.
So what kind of plays do you expect?
O'Connell will likely incorporate more quick-hitting passes, slants, outs, quick screens, perhaps more play action from under center to try and slow down the pass rush, and certainly a greater reliance on tight ends as safety valves.
Got it. Get the ball out fast.
The emphasis shifts dramatically. From creation through mobility to execution through design, timing, and sheer brute force from the O-line and receivers. It's a fundamental challenge for an OC to retool mid-season for such a contrasting style, especially when other pieces are also compromised.
Exactly, and that brings us right back to the offensive line. Protecting Wentz becomes priority number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Absolutely paramount.
This is a pocket passer. He absolutely needs time to stand tall and deliver. But the unit is banged up, Darisaw still out, Skull and Kelly in concussion protocol.
It's a skeleton crew almost.
You're already asking a tremendous amount from a unit that's not at full strength, that's already shuffling personnel.
And that's where the difficulty compounds exponentially. How difficult is it to ask a banged-up, shuffled unit to hold the fort, especially when you're facing a formidable pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson?
Oh boy, Hendrickson.
And a Bengals defense that thrives on pressure, creating chaos in the backfield.
It's an incredibly tall order, bordering on Herculean.
Hendrickson is an elite edge rusher. He consistently exploits any weakness in pass protection. O'Connell might need to employ specific schemes just to mitigate this relentless pressure.
Like what? Max protect.
Could mean keeping an extra tight end or a running back in to block more frequently, using chip blocks on the edge rushers, or relying heavily on those quick passes that get the ball out of Wentz's hands before the rush even gets home.
But that limits the offense, right?
But here's the critical trade-off. All these mitigation strategies take away from offensive options downfield. They can make the offense more predictable, easier for defenses to decipher.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's a true test of O'Connell's ability to innovate under extreme duress, trying to patch holes with limited resources.
The run game's another massive concern, and frankly, a huge question mark now.
With Jones out, yeah.
Jordan Mason is now RB1 by default. While he has shown flashes leading the team and rushing through 2 weeks. Okay.
He's looked decent at times.
But he's untested as the full-time workhorse. He's had some good runs, some powerful moments, sure. But carrying the load for 4 quarters, week after week, with defenses keying in on him, knowing he's the primary threat.
It's a whole different animal.
That's a completely different animal entirely. He's stepping into an entirely new level of responsibility.
And the pressure on Mason to perform consistently as a lead back for the first time, it's immense.
Has to be.
The workload dramatically increases. The physical toll will be significant. He'll be asked to handle more carries, take on more pass protection assignments, absolutely critical with Wentz, as we said, and be a more consistent receiving threat.
That's a lot to ask.
That's a lot to ask of a young player. That's why Cam Akers' return is so significant. He's not just a warm body.
Right. He has a role.
As the sources point out, Akers provides experience, a safety valve on third downs, and frankly, insurance against another injury in a position group that just lost its leader.
Need that insurance right now.
He's not expected to be a superstar, but he offers crucial depth, a change of pace, a proven ability to perform under pressure. Mason will need to prove he has the stamina, durability, versatility to be an every down back. That's a big unknown, especially when every other part of the offense is also under siege.
Absolutely, and our sources really underscore that without Jones, that backfield would have been dangerously thin.
Perilously thin.
Akers' presence means Mason won't have to carry every single snap. It provides some much-needed relief, a veteran presence who knows the system, even if it's his third stint.
Keeps Mason fresher.
He's an essential rotational piece. But let's not overlook the psychological side either. This isn't just about X's and O's. This is about the human element in a hyper-competitive environment.
This is where the ripple effect extends far beyond the physical. You lose your young QB and your veteran RB back-to-back in the same week.
Yeah. How does that feel in the room?
That shakes a locker room to its core. Players are inherently superstitious, you know? When devastating blows happen, especially repeatedly, they can indeed start questioning the football gods.
It feels cursed sometimes.
This isn't a small thing. When a team gets hit with a series of devastating injuries, particularly in crucial spots like QB and lead RB, it can create a pervasive sense of helplessness, or even fatalism.
Like, here we go again.
It creates that narrative of fragility, internally and externally. Players start wondering, are we doing something wrong in training, or is this just our predetermined fate? The kind of pervasive doubt can be far more damaging than any single physical injury, chipping away at the very belief system, the confidence of the team.
What about the coach's role in that?
For the coaching staff, it's an immense mental burden. They have to constantly keep spirits up in the face of this adversity, constantly reiterating belief, focusing on the next man up mentality, even when the next men up are running thin.
Tough job.
Crucially, leaders like Justin Jefferson and Harrison Smith need to step up and steady the group. They need to project calm, confidence, remind everyone of the talent still on the roster, the mission at hand. This is not just about game plans, it's about morale. Rebuilding that takes immense leadership from within, coaches and veteran players.
True. And for the fans. This all feels like deja vu all over again.
Oh, definitely for the fans.
Injuries derailed last season, created so much frustration, disappointment, and now it feels like the same script is being recycled, almost immediately.
It's exhausting for them.
It's a frustrating cycle that, as our sources suggest, leads to a palpable sense of frustration bleeding from the stands into the team.
You can feel that energy.
Fans expected 2025 to be different, a reset with McCarthy at the helm. There was renewed hope, right? A belief this year would mark a fresh start, a new direction with their promising rookie QB.
That hope was real.
Instead, what they're seeing is an injury ward before September is even over.
Just brutal.
It's incredibly deflating for a fan base that was ready to believe in a new era, ready to invest emotionally in a long-term vision. That psychological toll extends far beyond the locker room. It touches the entire community of supporters.
And the accumulation of these injuries, particularly for a team already navigating a perceived rebuilding phase, resetting expectations, it creates a significant challenge for the organization's narrative, internally and publicly.
Yeah. How do you sell hope now?
When the hope of a reset with a promising young quarterback is immediately met with familiar, devastating setbacks, it can profoundly erode the long-term faith of the fan base. It's not just about winning games short-term, it's about maintaining a positive, aspirational outlook for the future.
Which is hard to do right now.
Repeated injury crises make that incredibly difficult. It forces a recalibration of what success even looks like this season. How do you maintain engagement, belief, when the very foundation of your future, your young QB, is sidelined so early and the rest of the team feels perpetually hobbled?
Yeah.
It forces a reevaluation of not just the season, but the entire direction of the franchise.
So after all this, here's the million-dollar question we started with. Is the season already in jeopardy?
Let's look at the facts.
Let's look at the road ahead, the timeline of absences. Jones is out at least until week 8. McCarthy is week to week, but high ankle sprains, as we discussed, they can linger. Significantly longer than simple sprains.
No quick fixes there.
Those are significant foundational pieces missing for critical periods. And the upcoming schedule. It's a gauntlet, folks.
It does not get easier.
You've got the Bengals, Steelers, Browns, then a bye week, followed by the formidable Eagles.
Woof. That's a murderer's row almost.
That's a brutal stretch for any team, let alone one dealing with such massive personnel losses and a completely reshuffled offense.
The difficulty of this upcoming schedule, especially with such a compromised, shuffled roster, is immense.
Break down that difficulty.
The Bengals, even without Burrow, still have weapons like Chase and Higgins, and that defense thrives on pressure nightmare for a patchwork O-line.
Okay. Week 3 challenge.
The Steelers. Known for physical defense, ground and pound, always tough. The Browns, similarly, boast a formidable defense that can shut down offenses.
There are breaks there.
And the Eagles, after the bye, perennial contenders, a truly complete team looking to dominate. If the Vikings limp through this stretch, say they come out 1-4, maybe even 2-3 if they're lucky, suddenly the playoff picture looks bleak, almost insurmountable. Every game becomes a must-win, and the margin for error effectively vanishes.
It is zero margin.
This critical period may well define the entire trajectory of their season, determining whether they even have a fighting chance come mid-November.
Right, and during this crucible of a schedule, who are you leaning on? Carson Wentz.
Yep, it's Wentz's show.
Who's had his own roller coaster of a career, right?
Yeah.
He can still sling it. You've seen flashes of brilliance, moments where he looked like an MVP candidate.
He has that top-end talent.
But consistency has never been his calling card. He's also had moments where decision-making turnovers have plagued him, particularly under pressure.
That's the risk. High variance.
It's a high variance proposition. You don't quite know which Wentz you're going to get week to week.
That's the inherent risk, relying on a quarterback with that roller coaster of a career. Wentz's talent is undeniable. Elite arm strength, ability to make spectacular plays.
We've seen it.
However, his history shows that tendency for volatility. One week, top-tier QB. The next, struggles with accuracy, situational awareness, fumbling, especially when the pocket collapses.
Which it might do often with this line.
Exactly. For O'Connell, this means managing that variability. Playing to Wentz's strengths, maybe the deep ball to Jefferson, while trying to minimize his weaknesses, his propensity for critical errors, all while working with a compromised O-line and a new lead running back.
Not ideal.
This isn't an ideal situation for a team desperate for stability and consistent execution. And while Ridder adds depth as an emergency option, as the source states, if Ridder's on the field, it means things are desperate.
Break glass in case of emergency.
This isn't the quarterback plan fans envisioned, or even the team envisioned a week ago. It's a contingency plan to the contingency plan.
But, okay, despite all of this, there's still a silver lining, maybe.
Gotta look for one.
This roster isn't devoid of talent.
Yes.
Far from it. Justin Jefferson is still Justin Jefferson.
Best receiver in football, arguably.
Arguably the best wide receiver in the league. A game wrecker who can change momentum on any given play. The defense still has playmakers, guys who can create turnovers, stop drives, keep the team in games.
There's talent there.
There's talent to work with here. It's not a completely barren cupboard.
That's the core question, isn't it? Can O'Connell scheme around quick passes and Mason can hold up in the run game long enough to weather the storm?
And they survive.
It's a massive challenge, but the presence of elite talent like Jefferson provides that glimmer of hope. Quick passes can help negate a pass rush. Jefferson's unparalleled ability to create separation quickly can bail out a struggling QB, turn a potential sack into a first down.
Jefferson can do that.
If Mason can exceed expectations as the lead back, provide a truly consistent ground game, that would provide much-needed balance. Take pressure off Wentz and the line.
Big if on Mason, though.
The core question, as the source points out, is a race against the clock. Can they hold long enough for Jones to return and for McCarthy's ankle to heal? Can they stay competitive enough to make the return relevant?
And even when Jones eventually returns, we've got to remember the reality check.
Yeah, temper expectations.
He's 30 years old, coming off a hamstring injury. Those don't just vanish overnight. The Vikings can't bank on him being 100% right away.
Hamstrings linger, especially at 30.
He's a veteran, but hamstring injuries for running backs, especially at that age, often mean a lingering concern for the rest of the season, a constant management issue.
Makes Akers even more important.
This further validates Akers' crucial signing. He's not just depth, he's an essential insurance policy, perhaps even a necessary rotational piece to ease Jones back in whenever he does return.
Smart move bringing him back.
So, to answer our headline, is the season in jeopardy? The honest truth, based on everything we've unpacked today, is yes. It's hanging by a thread.
Seems fair.
Not because the roster lacks talent, but because the margin for error has completely vanished.
And that's the reality fans need to prepare for. It's not necessarily doom and gloom if they can rally, but expectations. They must adjust significantly from what they were even 24, 48 hours ago.
It's a different season now.
This isn't the season we thought it would be. Every week without McCarthy and Jones is a week this team has to overachieve just to stay afloat.
Need heroes to step up.
They're going to need heroic performances from unexpected places, innovative coaching that defies the odds, and a collective resilience that few teams possess. The next 4 games, they may very well define whether this team's playing for a legitimate shot at January football or playing for draft position and the long-term future.
Stark choice.
It's a very real pivot point.
Well said. We've unpacked a lot today, peeling back the layers of what's unfolding for the Minnesota Vikings. We hope this deep dive helps you understand the complex factors and the cascading implications of these sudden, crushing blows.
There's a lot to process.
But it raises an important, perhaps unsettling question for you to think about. If injuries consistently derail a team's aspirations year after year, what does that do to the foundational belief in the organization?
Good question.
Not just for the players in the locker room, who have to constantly adapt and push through, but for the entire fan base, whose hope is repeatedly tested. And even for future free agents looking to sign, weighing the risk of joining an organization that seems perpetually snake-bitten.
Affects everything long-term.
It's something to mull over. A significant question that goes far beyond just wins and losses as the season progresses.